Good afternoon. How are you? Okay, now can you open page 473? 473. Okay, now let's start. Today we are going to learn how to tell time. So first, what do we use to tell time? We use clock. I can use digital clock, which shows me the time like this. We can use digital clock. It looks like this. It will show you the time like this. 3:15, for example. Or I can use analog clock, like the clock you have at home on the wall, or like this one. I can use analog clock. Analog clock has two hands, okay? The analog clock has two hands. Our hand, which is short, the hour hand, which is short, and long hand that tells me the minutes, okay? So if I want to tell the time, I will tell the time in hours and in minutes. Okay, we tell the time in hours and in minutes. So when I read this, it means now the hour is 3:15. Again, we tell the time in hours and minutes. So if I want to read the hour now, it tells me now it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. Okay? So now, if I want to show this on the clock, how can I do it? First, we need to understand the clock. Okay, now the clock starts from here. Here 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? Now, if you can see the drawing on the board, you can find that we have small marks between each two numbers. Or if you can't see the board, look at your book. If you can't see the drawing on the board, look at your books. You can find between any two numbers, there is small marks like this. Now, the space between each two small marks represent 1 minute. The space between each two small marks like this represent 1 minute. And if you look here, between 12 and 1, we have 5 spaces. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between 12 and 1, there is 5 spaces. So the space between 12 and 1 represents 5 minutes. Again, the space between any two numbers represents 5 minutes. So from 12 to 1, it represents 5 minutes. So if I want to tell the minutes, I will skip counting by 5 each time. When I want to tell the minutes, I will skip counting by 5 each time. So here 5, now it will be 10, skip 5 again, 15, skip 5 again, 20. So I will skip by 5 each time. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 till I reach 60. Okay? So when the minutes hand complete around like this, it moves to complete around, it will make 60 minutes. So now we completed 1 hour. Again, when the minutes hand complete around like this, starting from here and move, 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 till it complete the full round, it will make 60 minutes. It means we completed 1 hour. So I want you to know this note. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. I want you to know this note. It's very important note. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. When we complete 60 minutes, it means we will go to the next hour. Again, when we complete a full round or when we complete 60 minutes, it means we will go to the next hour. We completed 1 hour because in 1 hour there are 60 minutes. So now I want to show this time. I want to show 3:15 on the analog clock. And I told you the analog clock has 2 hands. Short hand that tells me the hours, and the long hand tells me the minutes. So now, first I will show the hour with the short hand. Here, the hours tells me it's 3 o'clock. Here, this digital clock tells me the hour now is 3 o'clock. So now I will draw a short hand pointing to 3. So all of you now draw a short hand pointing to number 3 because the hour now is 3. So draw short hand pointing to number 3. Now I want to tell minutes. I want to tell 15 minutes. Which number represents 15 minutes? Look here at the minutes. Which number represents 15? 3. So also I will draw the long hand pointing to number 3. So now I tell the time 3:15. Short hand or the hour hand pointing to 3 because now it's hour 3. And the long hand, the minutes hand, also pointing to 3. Why? Because the 3 represent 15 minutes. How can we tell the minutes? We skip by 5 from the beginning. To tell the minutes or to find the minutes, we skip by 5 from the beginning. So I will say starting from here, 5, 10, 15. So 3 represent 15. So I need you to memorize these numbers. That 3 represent 15 minutes, 6 represent 30 minutes, and 9 represent 45 minutes. So we don't have to count from the beginning each time. Again, I want you to memorize that 3 represent 15 minutes, 6 represent 30 minutes, and 9 represent 45 minutes. Can you write this on the clock you have? On page 473, you have a clock. I want you to write next to 3, it represents 15 minutes. And on 6, right, it represents 30 minutes. And on 9, right, it represents 45 minutes. And I want you to memorize these numbers. So we don't have to skip counting from the beginning. Okay, it will be more easy for you. Yes, yeah, Hamza. Excellent. Like this clock. This is called analog clock. It has 2 hands. Short hand, it tells me the hour, and long hand, it tells me the minutes. Okay, now all of you open page 474, the next page. Okay, now I want to show 8, 5 on the analog clock. Now I have a digital clock. This digital clock tells me the time now is 8:05. So in the hours, 8, and in the minutes, 5. So how can I show this on the analog clock? Who can tell me? Ahmad Saleh, unmute. Now, Ahmad, I want to show 8 and 5 minutes on the analog clock. So now I will draw shorthand to represent hours. So the shorthand will be pointing to number. Look here, I want to represent 8, 5 minutes. Here, hours, and here, minutes. Okay? Now I want to draw the shorthand to represent hours. So the shorthand will be pointing to number 8. The hour now is 8. So I will draw a shorthand pointing to number 8. The shorthand will be pointing to number 8. Now I want to tell minutes. I want to tell 5 minutes. So the long hand will be pointing to which number? Which number tells me 5 minutes from here? 1. The 1 tells me 5 minutes. Again, I told you to tell minutes, we will skip 5 from the beginning. So when I move from 12 to 1, it means 5 minutes passed. Skip by 5 again, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. Again, to tell minutes, we skip counting by 5, starting from here. Here 0, now skip by 5, 5. Skip again by 5, 10, 15, and so on. So now if I want to tell or I want to show 5 minutes, I will point at 1. The long hand will point at number 1 because 1 represents 5 minutes. All of you understand? You can go, Ya Rafif. Is it okay or no?
Okay.
Okay, Yazid, I will say again. The hours, to tell hours is easy. The short hand, if it's pointing to 8, so it's 8 o'clock. If the short hand at 7, so it's 7 o'clock. Okay? So the hour hand is easy. It tells the same number it's pointing to. The short hand here is at 8, so now it's 8 o'clock. What about the long hand, the minutes hand? To tell the time for the minutes hand, we skip counting by 5. Yazid, how? I start from here, from 12, 0, okay? The minutes here at 12 is 0. Now skip by 5. So at 1, it will be 5 minutes. Skip again by 5, 10. Skip again by 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and so on till we reach 12 again. It means we completed 60 minutes. So again, when we are telling the minutes, we skip by 5 each time. From number to number, I will skip by 5. From 12 to 1, skip by 5. Skip by 5 again, it will give you 10, and so on. Till we complete a full round, we will make 60 minutes. So Yazid, in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So now I want to show 5 minutes only. 5 minutes. So skip counting from the beginning by 5 only. So I will draw the long hand pointing to 1. Is it okay now, Yazid? Okay, I want to show 5 minutes. So I will start from here and skip by 5. I will say 0, 5. So now I show 5 minutes. I will draw the long hand pointing to 1. Okay, now the next example I want to show 8:35. How can I show 8:35? Abdullah Samir, open your camera. Now I want to show 8:35. Who can tell me this one? Mira, unmute.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, now Mira, I want to show 8:35. So hours is 8 and the minutes 35. How can I show 8:35 on this clock? First, I will draw the hours hand. First, I will draw the hours hand, the short hand. It will be pointing at number. Mira, I want to show 8:35. So the hour hand will be pointing at number 8. Here is the hours. I want to show 8 hours, 35 minutes. So I will point at number 8. This is the short hand or the hours hand. It will be pointing at number 8. Okay, now Mira, I want to show minutes. How can I show 35 minutes? Which number represents 35 minutes?
7.
7. Excellent. So I will draw long hand pointing to number 7. If we look here, 7 represents 35 minutes. That's why I wanted you to memorize that 3 represents 15 minutes, 6 represents 30 minutes, and 9 represents 45 minutes. So we don't need to skip counting from the beginning. If you know that 6 is 30, so what is 35? It's 7. Okay, each time we skip by 5. So you have to memorize 3 represents 15 minutes. 6 represents 30 minutes. So it will be more easy for you to find 35 minutes. It will be the number after, okay? 6 is 30, so 7 is 35. Is it okay? All of you understand or no?
Understand.
Okay, excellent. Okay, now let's go to another example. Okay, now I want to show 9 o'clock exactly. 9 o'clock exactly. I want to show 9 hours and 0 minutes. How can I show 9 hours, 0 minutes? Yes, Yasin? I want to show 9 hours, 0 minutes. So the shorthand will be pointing at 9. Excellent. Here the hours tells me 9. So the shorthand will point at number 9. And the minutes is 0. So how can I show 0 minutes?
12.
12. Excellent. Here 0 minutes. Okay. So to show 9 o'clock, the shorthand will point at 9 and the long hand at 12 o'clock. Excellent, Yasin. Okay, now all of you look at your books. You have a question in a box on the left. It says the time now is 9:35. So what time will it be in 5 minutes? And what time it will be in 15 minutes? And in 25 minutes? So now let's start. Rafif, you want to ask or you are playing? Yes, ya Rafif?
I want to ask.
Okay, ask. What do you want? You want to answer, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Rafif, you understand or no?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now first, I will show 9:35 on my clock. So now I have here a clock, okay? So it has shorthand, it tells me the hours, and the longhand tells me the minutes. So first I need to show 9:35. So the shorthand or the hours hand will point to 9. Now the longhand, the minutes hand, I wanted to point at 35 minutes. Where is 35 minutes? We memorize that 6 represent 30 minutes. So where is 35? Skip counting by 5. It will be 7. Here 30. So here 35. So now I will move the minutes hand to point at 7. Now the time is 9:35. Okay? Now he is asking me what the time will be after 5 minutes. What is the time after 5 minutes, ya Karma? Now it's 9:35. So after 5 minutes, it means I will skip by 5. So where is the next 5? It's 8.
8.
From one number to other is 5 minutes, okay? From each number to the next number, there is 5 minutes. So now I moved the minutes hand from 7 to 8. Now I passed 5 minutes. So now can you read the time? Can you tell me the time now? The shorthand is at 9. So I will write the hours 9. Okay?
Okay.
9. Now I want you to tell me minutes. The long hand tells me minutes. So 8 represents how many minutes?
14.
40. 40. Okay? If you memorize that 6 represent 30 minutes, so you will know now 7:35, 8:40. So now 9:35 after 5 minutes will be 9:40. So all of you write in the first one 9:40. Okay, now Noreen Ahmed, unmute.
Yes,
the second question is asking you after 15 minutes the time will be. So also we are starting from 9:35. Now after 15 minutes, so I will skip by 15. 5, 10, 15. Now I skip by 15. Can you read the clock now?
10.
The shorthand tells you the hours. The shorthand pointing to
9.
9. So I will write in the hours 9. Now I want to tell minutes. The long hand is pointing to
10.
So 10 represent how many minutes? I told you to memorize that 9 represent 45. So 10 represent what? Skip by 5.
50.
50, excellent. So the time after 15 minutes will be 9:50. Okay, now the last one. Yasmin, unmute. The last one, he is asking you after 25 minutes. Now, also I am starting from 9:35. Now, I want to know the time after 25 minutes. So I will skip by 25. 5, 10,
5, 10,
15, 20, 25. Now 25 minutes passed. Can you read? When I reach 12 again, it means I completed the next hour. So the hour hand moved to the next hour. Again, it was 9:35. And I want to know the time after 25 minutes. Okay, here 35.
40,
So 40, 45,
45,
50,
50,
55,
55,
60.
60.
What is the meaning of I completed 60 minutes? That I will go to the next hour. What is the meaning of I completed 60 minutes? It means I will go to the next hour.
The next hour.
So now it will be 10 o'clock. It was
10 o'clock.
9:35 and I completed 60 minutes. So I will go to the next hour. What is the hour after 9? It's 10. So now it's 10 o'clock. Excellent, Yasmin. So now I want you to write in the three spaces, the first one 9:40, 9:50, 10 o'clock. When we complete 60 minutes, it means we will go to the next hour. Excellent, Ya Asil. Excellent, Ya Rafif. Okay, now question number 1. He wants me to show 6:45. I want to show 6:45 on the analog clock. So this number, the hours, I will represent it with the short hand. So I will draw a short hand pointing to 6. Now to tell minutes, I will use the long hand. How can I tell 45 minutes? We all memorize that 9 represents 45 minutes. So I will draw the long hand pointing at 9. So all of you draw a long hand pointing at 9. Yes, Ya Rafif?
I want to ask.
Yes, Ya Rafif?
I want to ask.
Yes, Ya Rafif, ask. You want to ask me? You don't understand?
No. You don't ask me.
Okay, Ya Rafif, I will ask you by order. Every day I pick a group to answer. Okay, now Yahya, unmute. Question number 2. Now I want to show 3:25. So I want to draw short hand and long hand. The short hand will be pointing at 3. The short hand, the hours hand, will be pointing at 3. This one is easy. The short hand point to the same number, okay? Short hand will point to 3. Now the minutes hand, the long hand, I want it to tell 25 minutes. How can I tell 25 minutes?
The long hat at 5.
Excellent. 5 tells me 25 minutes. So I will draw a long hand pointing to 5. So all of you draw the long hand pointing to 5. So we draw short hand at 3, long hand at 5. Okay, in question number 3, he gave me the hands and he wants me to tell the hours. Okay. In problem number 3, he drew for me the short hand pointing at 8 and the long hand at 12. Who can tell me the time now? Noreen? Can you tell me the time now? Short at 8 and long at 12.
Short at what?
Short hand at 8 and the long at 12. So what is the time now?
8.
It's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. When the long hand at 12, it means it's 8 o'clock. The short at 8 and the long at 12. So it's 8 o'clock exactly. Now the last one, 4. So in problem 3, write in the digital clock 8, then 0, 0. The last one, he wants me to tell 5:40. 5:40. How can I show 5:40? Again, the hours is easy. The short hand point to the same number. So I will draw short hand point to 5. The hours hand is easy. I will draw a short hand pointing to 5. Now I want to tell 40 minutes. Which number represents 40 minutes? Look at the drawing, it's 8. 8 represents 40 minutes. If we memorize that 6 represents 30 minutes, so I will say 35, 40. So I will draw the long hand pointing to 40. So in number 4, draw short hand pointing to 5, long hand to 8. So again, you have to memorize. 3 represent 15 minutes, 6 represent 30 minutes, and 9 represent 45 minutes. Between any two numbers, we skip by 5. We skip counting by 5 from a number to the next number. Naya, you want to ask?
In problem